And especially someone raised in a Christian environment.
It had never happened in our family. And so it was something that was really foreign, really to me and my whole family as we walked through that, even my siblings and everything else. It was just a very foreign concept. But excruciating pain. I went through many sleepless nights. I went through many tears, tons of grief. Devastated me. I thought I'd never minister ever again because in my upbringing, I just didn't think that you could, having gone through what I'd just gone through. But that was a very difficult time. I left the church I was pastoring at that point in time, but I went actually through something far more severe a few years later.
I know about that. No one should have to go through what Danny went through. His children went to visit his ex-wife, and the two youngest ones were kidnapped. When did you realize this happened?
Well, actually, that happened. It was in December in 1999. Obviously, they were long gone. But during that period of time, there was a real confidence that I had that God was going to restore them. I had no idea how. I didn't know when. I wasn't exactly sure when it was. I thought initially, it'd be very soon, but the soon grew into years pretty quickly.
Did you know or hope that you'd ever see them again as this grew into years?
I did. In fact, people have often asked me that. They said, how did you maintain hope? And I said, Jesus is my hope. And so as a result of him being my hope, I can't lose hope in him.
No, but that's easy to say right now, but it must have been so agonizing.
But he'd given me a promise, and in that promise, he really declared, he said, your children will come home
How did
from the
he
land
give
of
you
their
this
exile.
promise?
Through Jeremiah.
You read it in the scriptures and it just jumped out at you?
It was one of those words that was so clear, and he just said, your children will return from the land. And I knew that it was my children.
All right, so you're remarried now, and the ministry is starting to prosper, but you have this big hole in your heart, your two youngest daughters, and year after year after year goes by.
Yes.
Now, let's go to another arena of your life. You and I have a mutual friend. His name is Surprise. He's from Mozambique, Africa, and he works with Heidi Baker Ministries in Mozambique, that every miracle you read about in the Bible is happening there. As a matter of fact, Danny, what's the latest you've heard about people that are dead that are coming back to life in Mozambique?
It's a pretty phenomenal thing. Iris is wonderfully understating some of the things that are happening, which I love about them. But I believe that the figure now is in the 50s of the number of people that have died and been brought back to life.
What constitutes someone dying and coming back to life?
In our Western culture, we would take anybody who just drops off and we can get them back. But Surprise actually says they don't count anybody unless they've been dead for 4 hours and remain alive for a year.
What are those? You showed me a picture of worship in Mozambique. What are those flames over all the people?
That actually has happened, I guess, on a few occasions. And on one occasion in particular, there was an event where Surprise was preaching, and people literally...
We were talking about a man by the name of Surprise who works with the Heidi Baker Ministries in Mozambique, Africa, and the dead coming back to life and how they're understating it, and these people are dead. How long do they have to be dead?
4 hours.
Okay, and they understate it. They say something like 50 have come back from the dead. So Danny was with this fella, Surprise, and you were, as I understand it, you were looking for a breakthrough or something, and he walks up to you, and you ask him to pray for you? Tell me the circumstances.
I was in Sacramento, actually, at that point, and I needed something at that point, and I just said, "Surprise, would you pray for me?" And he laid hands on me, and he said, "You are going to the New Jerusalem." And immediately, there was a release that came on me, and I ended up having a wonderful visitation with the Lord.
Stop for a second. You know what's going on right now? God's presence has so invaded the studio. Danny, are you feeling what I'm feeling?
I am.
It's almost like as you're talking about, you literally left your body? Or how did this happen? You said you were in New Jerusalem.
You know, the realm of the Spirit, the realm of God, is a very real realm. And God is looking for people that will become comfortable with his realm.
I love it.
Yeah, I love it.
I mean, I can, and I know you can. I can feel when his realm invades the studio.
Yeah. When you read the pages of the Bible, you realize that that is such a supernatural reality that they lived in, and we have so easily forgotten that all that we believe is based upon something extremely supernatural, and we have to learn to enter into that place.
Is that why you wrote your book, These Walk on Water?
Yes, I did.
And walking on water, that's pretty supernatural. But you know what? There's going to be such a separation coming. And I love this book because this book will allow people to move into that invisible realm. So anyway, you're touched. You find yourself in what is the New Jerusalem?
It's a place that was, when I was there, was amazing, because as I got closer to it, I began realizing that even the buildings themselves were alive. And I began realizing this is what he means by that we are living stones all being built up. And that there's something, they were moving. There was a visible...
breathing.
Yes, it was an amazing thing. As the Lord showed me that. And
well, you know what? Everything is life. There's a mixture, life and death on this side of heaven. But in the New Jerusalem, everything is alive, so that makes sense.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And he took me there, and then he took me actually to this place that was vast, and I saw warehouse after warehouse after warehouse. and I heard the Father say, "These are your body parts." And I said, "Well, what does that mean?" He said, I'm waiting for you to ask me to release those to you. That he said, I will give life to them, but that you don't need to wear out. You can continue on.
You had a dream about how long you'll be living. Tell me about
Actually, I had multiple dreams.
Really?
And I actually went to some friends that I really trust who really hear from God as well. And I asked them about this dream because it was so odd to me, because I'm not your normal fit kind of a guy. And I said, I had this dream, and in the dream, I was 118 years old, and I was preaching the gospel. And every one of them said, "We believe that is absolutely literal, Danny." And I believe that. I believe that's what the Father was showing me, that I'll live to 118 and be preaching the gospel until
with new body parts, not 118 in a decrepit body, but with the new body parts.
We can't live in a body that is constantly breaking down. We're going to live from glory to glory. We're going to live in a realm where there is an increase of health that's going to come on us supernaturally. It is God who gives life, and it is God who holds our lives in his hands.
I believe, now this is between you and me, but I believe this. Yes. I believe I'm going to get younger, and it'll be a sign and a wonder on those that are watching the television show.
Right.
They'll begin to see me get younger. You just got to watch all the time. But it's not just you. It's not just me. It's for whosoever, I believe.
Right. Well, it's a piece of the gospel that we have. When I received Jesus, I was born anew, and I was born into something that was eternal at that point in time.
But now I'm going to fast forward. You should.
True. And they call him that because he's an angel that comes to break through. He comes to bring the release of God in places that might have been in opposition to it or just been closed.
Listen, you had, as far as I'm concerned, a major breakthrough with your two daughters. There were two things that God used supernaturally. One is you wrote a letter to your ex-in-laws. Tell me about that.
I did. I wrote a letter basically telling them that I was forgiving them and forgiving my ex-wife for taking my daughters. I did this while they were still gone.
How could you do that? These are your daughters.
Because Jesus would do that.
Good enough. What happened in the natural realm as a result of what you did right in the spirit realm?
A week later, I received actually an email from an attorney who had helped me with a lot of the issues related to their abduction and everything else. I owed a lot of money, thousands, tens of thousands of dollars. And I had got
that. But 12 bells, tell me about that.
The day before, a major, they're here. And they were his girls. They weren't just mine. And I have to hold on to that hope. And I know there are a lot of people who need that hope in various things. And hope deferred makes a heart sick, but a longing fulfilled is the tree of life. That's the second part. And that's really what I believe the Lord was doing, was he was showing me the longing fulfilled. It's delightful.
You know what I love? Danny is so free. He's a worship leader, and he has jam sessions, nothing scripted, but this is ridiculous. A guy is doing a mega $1 million Hollywood-type motion picture with no script.
Well, actually, he'd watched our worship, and our worship is very free. And we basically our terminology is we just go after it. We don't necessarily have the songs all written. In fact, there have been hundreds of songs that have been written in the past couple of years already as a result of this. But the reality has been that there's been an explosion because it's so free. It's so full of the Spirit of God.
How much is he spending for that picture?
I believe the budget is $200 million.
With no script? Is he Meshuggah? That's crazy.
He wants to demonstrate that God can make a movie.
Better than man.
Absolutely.
And guess what? God can solve your problem better than you can. There are people listening right now that need a breakthrough. Well, the Word of God says, all things are possible to those who believe. Don't give up. Danny, in 30 seconds, look in the camera and tell people not to give up.
I want to really encourage you to strengthen your heart by knowing that there's one who believes in you more than you probably believe in yourself, and that he has a destiny for you, and that he has a destiny. He's the one who allows people to become Josephs who go to exile. He's the one who causes them to become princes and kings that will rule nations. And you can't give up. You just got to keep holding on.
He is the God of the breakthrough. And in Yeshua's name, I release all of the angels of the breakthrough to restore, recover, preserve, and thrust you